what's up? It's Chris Reifert from Siege of Power and Autopsy and Violation Mode and Painted Doll and a bunch of other stuff. You're listening to the FANTASM Podcast.
FANTASM.
This is Corey Gorechrist, FANTASM Podcast. We have the honor of speaking with Chris Reifert, one of the founding members of Autopsy, and we're here to talk about his band Siege of Power, which has Warning Blast coming out September 7th on Metal Blade Records. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had some old cold coffee from 9 o'clock this morning, and I just scooped the cat box.
Nice.
So, obviously, things are pretty great here.
Feeling human, that's good.
Oh, most definitely.
Well, I love the Hail of Bullets guys. I'm internet friends with Bob. He's very cool.
Oh, yeah, those guys are super dependable no matter pretty much what band they play in and stuff.
Yeah, so talking about Siege of Power and this super group, if you will, how did you guys meet up and talk, about forming this band?
Well, I ended up kind of falling into it the last minute, to be honest with you. It was something they had going a few years ago, only it was called First Class Elite at the time. Maybe Bob mentioned that to you at some point or something. And they even did a split with Violation Moon, another band I play in. Right. And they did some recordings and stuff, and it was really good. And then I think they kind of split up for a while, and then got the urge to do like a full album, but then they renamed it Siege of Power.
Right.
And when they first got the idea to make a new album, they had a vocalist. I think it was the same guy who was in First Class Elite. And,
okay.
For one reason or another, he wasn't able to be on the album. I don't know the whole backstory on that.
Right.
But so there was that, and then they had some music recorded, like a handful of songs. And then I went to see Asphyx play at a place called the Metro in Oakland over here.
Oh, they're incredible.
And, yeah, it was a great show, and we're all hanging out and everything. And then Paul, our guitar player, started telling me about the recording, and I heard a little bit about it from Bob. But Paul was like, "Hey, man, you want to do vocals on it? We need somebody." And a couple beers later, hanging with your buds.
Right.
Yeah, man. Sure. And then I didn't hear anything about it for a little while. And so some time went by, and they're like, "Hey, we got 13 songs recorded, and we're, excited, and it's killer, and all that." I'm like, "Oh, shit, all right, well, we're doing this. Right on."
Hell yeah.
And so I got to hear what they've done, and then turns out I needed to write the lyrics for it, too. That's... I'm like, okay, 13 songs, I can do that, And then, so next thing you know, they hopped back in the studio and they did 7 more, so
right.
All of a sudden it's like 20 songs.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot of tracks on this record.
You don't mind writing 20 lyrics, do you? They're like, sure, okay, let's do it. And, so yeah, it was intense, man, because, I already had some other things going on, and
sure.
I wasn't going to let these guys down, though. There's no way, and the music sounded great, so I just kind of put it together and kind of a rush,
right?
Hoping it would work out good, and it turned out killer, man. I'm super stoked. Everything worked out, and and I'm glad they invited me to be on it, man. That was really cool.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it definitely delivers. I love the way the production on the vocals were too, especially.
Thanks, yeah. Man. Yeah, I didn't want to, fuck it up and make it a drag for anybody. No,
it's definitely, it lives up to the name of the band itself, and the Warning Blast is definitely a good debut title for it, because what you would expect from you guys, and then when you actually hear it, it definitely exceeds that. It's just very ball stomping, if you will.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Thanks. That's really, really good to hear.
Now, if you don't mind, we can do a little track by track. Maybe.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
quickly, we got a lot of songs to cover, but we'll run through them the best we can. We got
consult my lyrics or something, depending on the question. But,
sure.
But I'll see what I can remember off the top of my head too.
All right. The first one we got, the first track on the record is "Conquest for What."
Okay. Do you want to kind of know what it's about, or?
Yeah. Whatever information.
It's kind of, oh man, how do I explain that one? Just sort of like craving victory, no matter what the cost, even if it makes things worse than they were before, just to say you won, basically. Sure. Let's put it in a nutshell like that, because that's basically what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, none of the songs have tons of lyrics to them, so they're kind of, loose themes sometimes. Sometimes we get specifics out of them, but it just depends. So, Anyways, man.
Awesome.
So what's the next one?
For the Pain.
Oh, yeah, that's pharmaceutical fun. That's just the whole, pharmaceutical industry pushing shit off on you to make money, not knowing or caring what it's going to do to you,
the
basically.
Placebo effect, too,
Yeah, I mean, make of it what you will, but it's kind of not painting that industry in a favorable light.
Right. I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Cool.
One of my favorite titles on this record, Bulldozing Skulls, which is really what the band sounds like, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
That's the first thing that comes to mind. So yeah, Bulldozing Skulls, track 3.
That one's pretty much just about bulldozing over skulls. Let's call it what it is.
To the point. All right. I love it.
Yeah.
Born into Hate.
That one is just kind of the concept about no one is born into the world equipped to hate this or that or anything else, whether it's people or things or whatever. It's just basically mentioning the fact that that's something that you learn, that you're born into. You're not going to, otherwise you're probably not going to turn out that way.
Right.
To whatever degree. So that's pretty much what that is, just being taught how to, hate things and people and stuff.
Right.
From a young age.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's usually how it works.
Another one of my favorite titles, number 5, Torture Lab. Love it.
Oh, thank you. That one's just about kind of feeling at times in life where you're just maybe the subject of some weird experiment or something, you just see the world being kind of insane, and you're just wondering, like, wow, did I just get dropped in some weird lab experiment that I wasn't aware of? And this is like a test to see how I cope with it or something.
Right.
So that's kind of what that one's about.
Awesome. Very personal, too. It's a relatable subject matter. That's good.
Oh, man, it's too easy to write lyrics like for bands like this these days.
Yeah. Uglification.
Oh, that's a fun one. That's kind of just talking about basically the gentrification effect that is happening, in a lot of places, in a town near you. Right. And I just see it as things getting ugly, like there used to be something weird and funky, and now there's fucking Bed Bath & Beyond, or whatever, insert whatever horrible place here. So I just see it as, getting uglified when it's supposed to be doing the opposite.
Right. Or they call it starbucking.
Yeah, same difference, exactly. Just,
Bath and Beyonding.
All the weirdness is getting sucked away, and not necessarily for the better.
Right. Oh, that's good. Number 7, Trapped and Blinded.
Shit. I may totally blank out on the lyrics to that one. These are all like, I kind of just blazed through them all pretty fast.
Right.
That's probably just another one about kind of like Torture Lab, just feeling lost and at odds with the world.
Right. And we got
we'll chalk it up to that.
Yeah, that's good. Diatribe.
Oh, just people yelling about stuff and spewing off their opinions, and you get tired of hearing about it sometimes.
I can definitely relate to that. I think we all can.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And of course, I'm guilty of it too. By recording this album.
Yeah, you hear people's negative shit. It's all good. Now here on Phantasm, we definitely support it. It's fucking awesome.
Cool.
Number 9, we get to the title track finally. It is Warning Blast.
That one's just pretty much about a warning blast. Not like blast beats on a drum kit, but an actual, blast of some type or another. If you look at the cover, you can kind of just
come up picture
with your own imaginary scene, that led things to where they are.
Exactly. And then this kind of leads into 10, Mushroom Cloud Altar, which I love that.
Oh, yeah, it's just the weird way how people with access to nuclear weapons and such just seem to get such a kick out of having access to that stuff, and almost like this just weird form of worship or something. After the fact, I thought about the movie Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where the people are the mutants are all living underground and worshiping the nuclear bomb and church services and stuff. So that came to mind after the fact, but it's it's kind of like that. It's just some people get a weird, warped, just the whole power trip thing, basically. Yeah,
it's comparing dick sizes,
there you go, exactly.
Which is why it's a mushroom cloud, so. Yeah,
and I threw in the altar part just to, the sense of worship.
Sure, no, it's a very powerful title.
Oh, thanks.
It's probably my other favorite one besides Torture Lab and Bulldozing Skulls, so that's good. Number 11, Lost and Insane.
That's kind of just another one like Torture Lab and stuff. Just another way of just saying what the hell is happening. How do I deal with it? I guess that's a reoccurring theme.
Kind of being trapped and what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, different wording, but same point.
Right. Yeah. And there's always, of course, lyrically and everything, the ways to express that one emotion too,
Yeah, well, I mean, same in lots of other forms of music, I mean, how many songs are about, decapitation and death metal, for example, or,
Oh, you gotta have one, or at least a couple,
Your choice of limb removal, or whatever, I don't know how many times that's been touched on, and will continue to be touched upon by me and others, so, yeah.
Or
more the same.
Even fucking the decapitated head, there's plenty of songs about that,
Exactly, the head itself.
Yeah, just the head.
Many uses, yeah.
Alright, Bleeding for the Cause, number 12.
Oh, that's just about getting so worked up over whatever cause it is you believe in. You're willing to get out in the world and actually physically do stupid things that you probably would be better off not doing, willing to bleed for people that would definitely never dream about bleeding for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, your love is not being reciprocated. I hope you know that.
This is just, it's one-sided.
Yeah.
But you're putting forth all the effort.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Number 13, Escalation till Extermination. Love it.
That's just about how basically as soon as people came around, one of the first things they did was figure out how to, make some sort of weapon, whether it's, your fist to begin with, and then a stick or a rock, and then it goes on to bigger and better things until we find ourselves where we are today. So it's just basically the progression from the first rudimentary, weapon item to what we have now, step by step, basically.
I like that. That's really good. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know why, but you get a sense of Mad Max in the scenario there. It's cool.
Yeah, that means definitely you can take it in a post-apocalyptic way for sure.
Yeah. This is a good title. Number 14, Privileged Prick.
Oh, well, that one says it all, I mean, just, whether it's a famous person or a not famous person, just someone that's never seen an uphill day in their life and will never have to, and it just, that's pretty much what that one's about.
They're a prick, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the attitude that goes along with it.
Yeah. Have some sense of reality, you prick. Alright.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 15, short fuse.
Oh, just, I guess about, like, people and their propensity to have hot tempers, more or less, you know, for various reasons.
It happens from time to time, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Try to control it, but, you know, it gets the best of us sometimes, and then you look back
to varying degrees.
A couple days later, and you're like, why was I such an asshole?
Yeah. So, yeah, take it all sorts of ways, really.
Yeah. Number 16, violence in the air.
That's kind of self-explanatory. It's
right.
Just sort of, you know, just the feeling we get sometimes when, you know, people start forming into groups, and then the groups start going head-to-head and that sort of thing, and it just gets out of control.
The clash of ideals and all that.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Nice. And we got number 17, It Will Never Happen.
Oh, yeah, that's about basically the concept of the, you know, politicians and whatnot who actually are so hot to start wars and battles will never be the ones to participate in them, or their families, or the, you know,
right,
cohorts or whatever. And I mean, no matter what they start, they're not going to have to deal with it.
Nope.
So it'll never happen.
They're just like, you know, the guy that says fight, and then they step off and
nothing to lose.
Yeah, let everyone else deal with it.
Exactly, yeah.
And then we're on the
victory if it goes your way.
Oh yeah. They don't give a shit. Wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire. So,
yeah.
Number 18, last track, The Cold Room.
Oh yeah, that's basically about like dying, and you know, I actually took that title from a chapter in Dennis Dunaway's book from the original Alice Cooper book.
Oh, nice.
The Alice Cooper Band, and he talked about visiting Glenn Buxton when he was like really bad off and near death, and he went in his place and he called it the Cold Room.
Man. You
know, just kind of like sensing death, I guess, and you know, and so I just thought that was not only a really cool title, so I stole that, and then it's kind of just you know, I do that sometimes. Yeah, and it's just the sort of the you know, the feeling of being, you know, ready to let go, I guess.
It's powerful shit. I've done that with writing lyrics too. You get like the actual general title, and you can work around that and just kind of build off of a concept or even just words and really make something, you know, make something good out of it. So that's pretty cool, you know.
On a good day, yeah. I mean, this was a challenge because I waited, you know, for all I had was scribbles and little lines and a few titles here and there.
Right.
I kind of waited for a week before the recording day to really whip it all into shape, because I don't know, man. I tried to work on it like months ahead, and it just wasn't coming together for whatever reason, and
right.
I don't know. I mean, the music was recorded really spontaneously, I know that, so maybe just deep somewhere in my head I figured the vocals would work that way too, and
right.
It turned out good, thank God, because
yeah.
Thank Satan or whatever you want to think, you know, but I think no one. But anyways, I'm happy it didn't come out horrible.
Yeah, the record sounds great, you know, from the tracks I've heard, and definitely look forward to it coming out for you guys. And do you all plan on doing some touring for it?
There's no plans for anything like that. I mean, the intent was just to kind of make the record and go, hell yeah, we did it. So,
awesome.
You know, as far as I know, that's going to be it. But, you know, life is strange, man. You never know what's going to happen sometimes. So,
right.
There's surprises all the time. So who knows, man? But right now, there's no plans or anything like that. But
right.
Shit, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, right. Now, the other segment we usually do, because our other basis for the podcast is horror movies. Are you a fan of horror stuff? I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, not as much as some people think. Like, I'm
sure
100% out of touch with modern day horror.
Yeah.
You know,
we do like 80s and back, and some.
Okay, now that's something I could talk about. That was like when I was engrossed in that stuff, and then it just once CGI blood started coming around, and it was I mean, that was dumb. And then everything was just a remake or retelling. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, and they're still doing it. Like, they announced that they're now underway with the Child's Play remake. And it's like, why?
Oh, God,
that's a movie. It doesn't need to be remade. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. That's the way I feel about all those movies. I mean, once in a while, there's probably one where I would eat my words and be like, "I'll be damned, this is great," but I kind of just don't care about that. Like, man, you can't think of a new idea.
Well, especially with like Child's Play, it's like they just made a new one. Like the 7th one or something, like last year.
Dude, it wasn't even good to begin with. I know, I thought that movie sucked anyway, so that's just me. I know a lot of people think that movie's the best, but
no, I mean,
fucking
I get it. I love Brad Dourif. I think he's great, and Chris Sarandon. But I don't think Child's Play is like as essential as a lot of people take it, Because you got Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger. It's like that's really all, you can put Chucky after all that, but it doesn't have to be there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I'm picking up on what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think the last original concept I can think of that I was impressed by was the first Human Centipede. I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, because that was a different way to reinvent horror as a genre, because nobody's really done that before, where...
Yeah, that was a good one, and a lot of that movie that was cool was what you didn't see, as opposed to like the second movie where they just showed everything. You're like, well, this is great, and it's sick and all that, but the first one just had a little extra something to it.
The first one had a big build-up, and you can feel like how creepy the doctor was, and you knew something was going to happen, but you didn't know what he was thinking, and then you saw the roofies come out, and you're like, oh shit, this is going to get weird, and then yeah, it got weird, and
the thing is, now every time there's going to be a Human Centipede.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one, it was worth it, but then after, it's like, well, how many people are they going to make into a centipede this time?
Yeah, exactly. In what building?
It's 3 football fields worth of people shitting into each other's mouths.
Exactly. But boy, that first one, that was magical.
Yeah, and I respected it because it was something different, and it got people talking, and a lot of people I knew didn't even like horror movies really were like, dude, you see Human Centipede? And I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, you watched that? And I was like, yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, I thought it was gross. It was a good gross because it was just something unexpected, so. Yeah, films like that that capture something, and it's actually original, I'll watch that, but horror movies are pretty hard to do that with now.
Actually Get Out was pretty good. I was pretty impressed with that.
I enjoyed that too, because again, it was something very unique. It didn't...
Like, what, this isn't a retelling or a remake? It's got, there's tons of suspense and cool concept. So yeah, once in a while, there's still exceptions.
Right. Now, what was some of your favorites growing up that you saw?
I mean, growing up, I mostly watched... I mean, I was a little kid in the 70s, so, certain things I was too young for, but,
sure.
I mean, I loved, all the, Universal stuff, all the classics.
Yeah.
And those are still my favorites. I still love that. And then, the Hammer stuff, that was all good. I mean, anything in the 70s, I was old enough to be allowed to watch, I would watch it. But, things got really good, in my teenage years as far as horror goes, because then you could go and, go to the video store and rent stuff on your own, and get whatever you want.
Exactly.
So that's when it got juicy, and that was kind of the heyday of the super splatter stuff, I would say.
Oh, yeah. You got Slaughterhouse and The Mutilator. And,
oh, man, I mean, if you want to talk about, probably when I actually really watched horror movies, was probably around, the 80s, maybe into the 90s a little bit. It's people get so disappointed sometimes. I'm like, I don't really watch them anymore. Like, what? Fuck you, man.
You're abandoning horror movies?
You traitor. But, anyways, now, I mean, I still love all the same ones. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't get tired of, and, but I mean, just loose titles in no particular order. whatsoever. Like, Pet Cemetery.
Oh yeah.
Texas Chainsaw 1 and 2.
Of course.
Some of the Friday the 13th. We used to love Part 6. That one was really good.
Yeah, I love that.
And then, the ones before it are pretty cool. Except 5, that one was lame.
Yeah. Actually, going back and watching that one, it's very campy, but it's, because it's not, it's like an imposter Jason, but it's, if you like the gore effects stuff, it's actually pretty brutal, and that
one's pretty Corey Feldman forward, though, isn't it?
Well, he was in 4, and then they had him in the beginning of 5, because he was supposed to be in the film, but he was shooting the Goonies, so
okay.
So he wasn't in that one, but they have, I don't know, it was really weird, a lot of it is kind of shitty, but the kills are great in it.
I'm not gonna bash it anymore, because I'm probably gonna say stuff that isn't even accurate, because it's been so long.
Oh, it's
kind of like the third Halloween movie, it's like, what? But anyways, what else? Phantasm was great.
My favorite, obviously.
Truth or Dare, not the Madonna one, the Thor one.
Right.
What else? Not gonna knock the Madonna one.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? What else did we watch? Rawhead Rex, of course.
Oh yeah.
Evil Dead. I know I'm missing tons of them, because it's like all we did for a little while. Make Them Die Slowly was a classic.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that one's great. Any of the Fulci ones, of course. All the Romero stuff. What else? I'm starting to blank out. I'm thinking about it too hard. But that's the kind of stuff we would gravitate towards, like that.
Right. And, my co-host would say I'm an old soul, but I grew up watching the older shit. It would just come out on TV, and it would be at the video store and stuff, so I would just kind of indulge in it. But there's really a resurgence for the old stuff because of the new video formats, that's all being re-released on 4K or all these movies that were basically to this day still on VHS only, and now they're putting it on Blu-ray and all this stuff. So,
see, I wasn't aware of all that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and that's kind of why I started this whole thing. Was besides my trying to bridge it into my love for extreme music too, and just heavy metal, whatever.
That all fits together pretty well.
Yeah, so if it wasn't for the resurgence, as much as I love horror, it probably wouldn't have worked out as well, because we can actually go back and watch this stuff like it's new again. And, with them just re-releasing all the old stuff, it's better to me, because you get to re-watch it in a new way. Or some of this stuff I didn't get to watch, I haven't seen since it was on VHS or, on a shitty imported DVD or something, and now you can actually buy it and it looks great, and so it's cool.
That's excellent. Yeah, I totally didn't know about that. That's very cool.
Oh yeah, all the Fulci stuff is on Blu-ray for the most part, and they're putting out a newer version of the movie Zombie, and they have all these lenticular covers of them, and one of the lenticular covers. And it comes with the soundtrack and all stuff, which I love, the soundtracks to those Italian films.
Goblin.
Yeah, Goblin and Fabio
we played with Goblin a few years ago. It was amazing. Yeah, the Housecore Horror Fest. Did in 2015, and
amazing.
Goblin was the headliner.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they did Dawn of the Dead. It was incredible.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, there's a scene in Zombie where this zombie breaks through this wooden door and pulls this chick by the hair and pulls her face really, really, really slowly into this splinter that's coming out
into her eyeball.
Yeah, into her eyeball. And one of the lenticular covers for the movie Zombie coming out is that. You can go left or right, and it shows it going into the eyeball. And I was like, that is marketing. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, no, man, that's, what more could you ask for?
I know. So that's, something to definitely look forward to.
I would say.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to plug before we let you go?
No, man, just, thanks for taking time and and rearranging the interview time. That was cool.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, and just what's up to everyone that's listening. I'm going to keep making weird music, so look out for that.
It's awesome. We'll keep listening to it.
Awesome. That was great. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Reifert from Siege of Power and Autopsy and Violation Mode and Painted Doll and a bunch of other stuff. You're listening to the Phantasm Podcast.
Fuck yeah. Awesome. And then Warning Blast by Siege of Power is due out September 7th on Metal Blade Records. Pick that shit up. It sounds like Bulldozing Skulls, and it's really good. And also members of Hail of Bullets and Asphyx, Grand Supreme Blood Court, Autopsy. It's definitely worth picking up. So, Chris, I want to thank you again for coming on. It's been an honor talking to you.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Anytime.
And thanks for working us in, and we'll float this in there and let you know when it's up, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Hey, likewise. I appreciate it.
All right, you have a good night, man. Thank you.
All right. Right back at you, man. Take it easy.
You too. Cheers.